This is KUTV Primetime News. It is a Monday, the 7th day of February, the year 2022. Tonight, we have a lot in store for you on what is happening in the country and, of course, beyond our borders. And also tonight, we shall be having a discussion on Siasa Fiesta, the politics of the country. Before that, let's take a look at the stories making headlines tonight. President Uhuru Kenyatta slams politicians criticizing his administration over performance. The head of state launches the scale-up of the Universal Health Coverage Program. A 30 million shillings eco-tourism resort set to be launched in Nakuru County.
This is KUTV Primetime News with Omondi Otieno.
Welcome to the broadcast, and keeping me company is Moses Gitonga, who is our sign language interpreter tonight. And also streaming this live on our social media platforms on Facebook, KUTV Kenya, and on Twitter, KUTV_Kenya. It's also live on YouTube at KUTV Live. Now, Rose Karani, the director of youth in Kirinyaga County, has resigned after 7 years of service to join the race for women representative in the county. She joined the county government during the reign of former governor Joseph Ndathi and oversaw transition to the current governor Anne Waiguru. During her tenure, Karani won various awards, including the National Hero Award on October 20th, 2018 and the Presidential Award on December 12th in 2018. She is now joining the 7 other candidates who have also declared their interest for the position to succeed the current women representative Wangui Ngirishi, who has moved to the gubernatorial race.
I have rendered my resignation so that I can join politics. I seek the post of women representation, Kirinyaga County, and behind me are my colleagues in the county government of Kirinyaga. I have served Kirinyaga County for 7 years. I joined the this devolved government the 3rd year of devolution.
Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta has today launched the scale-up of Universal Health Coverage Conference in Mombasa County, which will be implemented across the country following a pilot in 4 counties. The conference, entitled Preparing for the Future, is expected to discuss how health workers can prepare for any future health crisis. Our reporter Daphne Rina with the details.
In the bid to fulfill one of the big 4 agendas, which is universal healthcare, which encompasses affordable healthcare and access to health, President Uhuru Kenyatta has today initiated a task force that is expected to reassess the workability of health practitioners to ensure provision of quality healthcare in the country and beyond the borders.
We are here to look at another subject, which is part of the 3 things within the UHC agenda. The first being affordable healthcare, the second being access to health, which we have been talking about, and through your political will, we have managed to create almost 25 hospitals in Nairobi, 19 new, 5 engineered and completed, and another 50 that we are building across the country.
And what we must make sure is that we have the caliber of professional health worker that is able, operating within the environment we are providing in upgrading our hospitals.
The president pinpointed the crippling effects of the COVID-19 pandemic on nations, more so the health bodies, raising the need for more qualitative training of the health practitioners, calling on the conference to suggest informative changes the government should adopt in reviewing of key plans of the health curriculum for healthcare professionals training and mechanisms of implementation.
that the conference will review key planks that can lead us closer to harmonization of the curriculum for health professionals training. I cannot overemphasize that this conference has the task of providing a trustworthy account of the quality of our healthcare training.
In this respect, the CS for Education, Professor George Magoha, commended the implementation of the competency-based curriculum, saying it will come in handy in ensuring quality in the health sector, as health practitioners would have had hands-on medicine from a tender age.
That you can start teaching a child in primary school about the beating heart. You don't have to wait until that child goes to secondary school. And therefore, it's going to be very interesting to start interesting children in medicine, in pharmacy, as they start mixing substances in primary school.
President Uhuru also proposed a 7-point framework to help pave way forward for understanding the deliberations of the workforce with the aim of producing globally competitive health practitioners and the response to future health crises.
This 7-point framework that I am proposing includes, first, defining a framework for harmonization of training of healthcare professionals across the sector for increased global competitiveness and future job readiness.
Kenya continues to witness significant growth in the health sector, with more and more workers finding jobs abroad, and with the universal healthcare coverage coming to life, the country looks at a possible breakthrough in the delivery of healthcare services. Daphne Urina for KUTV.
Thank you so much, Daphne Reina, for that health report. Now, the Ministry of Health has reported that 55 people tested positive for COVID-19 from a sample size of 3,216 tested in the last 24 hours. This pushes the total confirmed cases to 322,151, with the positivity rate now at 1.7%. A total of 137 patients have recovered from the virus, bringing the total number of recoveries to 296,108. However, there were no deaths reported, therefore the cumulative fatalities remains at 5,621. Now, according to Siaya High Court Judge Roslyn Aburili, many cases submitted to the court are murder cases arising from land disputes. And in response, Siaya County residents have been encouraged to seek amicable methods to quell stalemates among themselves. Caroline Kimwele has more on this.
A heightened toll of murder cases in Siaya County occasion conflicts over land and perpetrated by aggrieved parties, most of whom are the youth, has raised alarm over dispute management mechanisms in play in the county. Siaya's High Court Judge Roslyn Aburili has urged residents to embrace alternative ways of resolving conflicts instead of taking the law into their own hands.
The youth, you are our future, you are our present. Please, hiyo hasira mujaribu kupunguza. We get traumatized as magistrates, as judges, when we look at those photographs. Sometimes, Mheshimiwa, I'm forced to take those photographs and show to the person who is accused there. Look at it. And that is your brother. That is your father. That is your mother. But umemkata kama mbuzi ambayo imechinjwa.
Speaking at Osigu in Bondo Sub-County during the groundbreaking ceremony of a court building, Aburili said that in order to address the challenges related to succession and land disputes, the Legal Resources Foundation is going to help them establish an Environment and Land Court Users Committee to help in sensitizing the public on matters of land and succession.
For purposes of proximity to justice and for purposes of access to justice, we thought that the best thing is to support judiciary, which in the way they are structured don't have money for purpose of these small lower courts. They've been doing like regional courts. I think they're just done with the Siaya now.
The Bondo Sub-County MP, however, added that witnesses have often been forced to spend their own resources while going to testify in the courts of law, yet that ought to be the responsibility of the judiciary to ensure they are effectively facilitated to reach the courts. Caroline Kimwele for KUTV.
And away from that, in what seems to be a retort to his deputy, President Uhuru Kenyatta has slammed politicians for continually criticizing his administration over its performance. President Kenyatta said that Kenya has made strides in implementing government commitments, including the quality health care for its citizens.
Remarks hitting out at the president, accusing him of orchestrating the political stage in the country, have been served hard by various leaders in their campaign run for the August polls.
Jamani, saa ingine muache kujipiga. Tumesonga. Mastori ya watu huko kupepeta huko kwa mikutano, kuongea mauongo huko, haiwezi badilisha yale yamefanyika. Tunaelewana wenzangu? Let us remain focused.
And today, President Uhuru Kenyatta picked apart his critiques, reiterating that his regime had executed immense milestones despite the setbacks presented to it. In sentiments seemingly directed at his deputy for engaging in campaigns at the cost of the Jubilee agenda, Uhuru urged state officers to remain focused on service delivery to Kenyans.
Ya kuongea maneno matuputupu huko, hakuna kitu unafanya. Unaenda huko, huko kazi haifanywi juu ya gari, inafanywa kwa maofisi, kwa mahospitali. Mama ni namna gani wenzangu?
The Kenya Kwanza coalition have accused the president of engaging in politics, with ANC leader Musalia Mudavadi terming it part of the reason to support the DP William Ruto in his run for office, claiming ODM leader Raila Odinga and his Azimio agenda are a state project created by the president.
The people of Kenya will not elect anybody's puppet or anybody's project. It doesn't matter whether it is the project of the deep state or the system or whoever. The people of Kenya will elect leaders who have a track record of performance, who can account for their time.
The fallout between the head of state and his deputy has been quite an open statement, and seemingly the rift is far from being sealed, as the two leaders' flagship party seems to be sailing to the Azimio side that is opposed to the deputy presidential quest. Daphne Orina for KUTV.
And on my chronometer, it's 13 minutes past the top of the hour. It's time we take our first break here on KUTV News. In a moment, we shall be coming back with the discussion of the night, Siasa Fiesta. You do not miss this, so stay with us. See you on the other side.
And had a child. They decided to move back home and make things official. Now, here is the bombshell. They found out that they were related. Wow. With Orbital Global, you can save yourself the embarrassment.
How well do you know your family lineage? Your cousins, uncles, aunties, nephews, nieces? Orbital is here for you. Visit www.orbitalglobal.com. Orbital Global, connecting families, uniting nations.
Karibu kwenye mitindo ya kipwani.
Nguo yangu wasenesi makire mtuzeha sana nenda finira chechemekwe.
Yani unavyoona basi liko kipwani pwani tu.
Wali unapopika inatakana uko half cooked.
Bageri.
niko katika kaunti ya Kilifi, magavazi ya Gede.
Stream live mitindo ya kipwani on our KUTV Facebook page every Saturday 4 p.m.
Natoka ile mtenye Maslay Queen utembea na visi ndio onekao tamada vijana.
Akajiona mdeadly kushinda waganga wote wa Kitui. Hakujua hii kitu hii ni tricky.
Love imekuwa chai. Ite kitu kidogo just to get in between my thighs that I love you.
Kenya kuna aina tofauti za hali ya anga ambazo huboresha au kuwa changamoto kwa wakazi wa eneo. Kaunti ya Makueni imeibuka kuwa bora katika masuala ya kilimo licha ya hali ya kiangazi.
Maembe huwa tunazalisha nyingi, lakini mtambo kuna ile capacity ambapo hawezi pitisha na hatuwezi chukua maembe yote. In fact tunakuta tunachukua 5-6%.
Kaunti hii imejikakamua kwa udi na uvumba kutegua kitendawili. Ukambani kuna ukame.
Tambo maji ilikuwa ngumu kupata kiasi kwa sababu kama ni pale kwa mto inapita tu inaenda. Lakini sasa hii kama imesimamishwa itakuwa rahisi kwetu.
Basi kikosi cha Boresha Kilimo kilitangamana na wakulima mbalimbali kuandaa Makueni County Edition.
Na wahimiza wana Makueni na Wakenya wote kwa jumla kuitazama kipindi cha Boresha Kilimo kila Jumamosi kuanzia saa 6:30.
Unemployment has hit you hard. Your salary is meager. You decide to venture into business, but you're struggling to thrive in it. You would want to reap a big tip on how not to run into losses.
Forget the preachy business vlogs, the hyperbolic motivational speeches, and all the roads down desperation.
You are watching KUTV Primetime News with Omondi Otieno.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us on KUTV Primetime News. Remember, we are sharing this live on our social media platforms on Facebook, KUTV Kenya, and on Twitter, KUTV_Kenya. It's also live on our YouTube channel, that is KUTV Kenya Live. Tell us what you think on the comment section now. There is a looming twist in the game of numbers as party nominations get closer day by day. In what seems to be consolidating strength to face off opponents, parties have formed joint outfits, and seemingly the selection of ticket bearers will spark the fallouts. Tonight we are joined by political analyst Jeremiah Karani to dissect the Kenyan political scene. So Karani,
yes,
thank you so much for dedicating your time for this discussion.
Thank you.
Right, now let us begin with the icing on the cake.
Yes.
The Kenya Kwanza coalition. What do you foresee in this coalition? Because we are having now the principles. Who do you see going to bend, low to bow for the other, principles to be the flag bearer? And again, the coalition, the move that was made by the ANC leader and together with the Ford Kenya leader, was it really a formidable move? What do you foresee of this coalition?
First, I will say that it will be no surprise that William Ruto will head the coalition. Mm-hmm. There were even some speculation that they had some pre-election agreements that Musalia Mudavadi will be given a chief cabinet secretary post like the one that Matiang'i has. Mm-hmm. Then William Ruto will be the flag bearer, of course, and they are going to look for the deputy from Mount Kenya region. Right. So we are expecting William Ruto to be the flag bearer of Kenya Kwanza Alliance. Mm-hmm. But talking about Kenya Kwanza Alliance now, mm-hmm. I don't think if it will be formidable or if it will stand test of time, because this pre-coalition, pre-election agreement, mm-hmm. they are subject to disregard. They are just vehicles that are being used for being elected. After that, they can be disregarded, and there's nothing that you can do because they are only binding between the parties involved. They are not binding to Kenyans.
Right.
So I don't foresee its sustainability as per se. Yeah.
But then, when Musalia Mudavadi, together with Moses Wetangula, they came in to form the Kenya Kwanza Alliance.
Yes.
This move, it has really attracted criticism from their supporters, from their backyards,
Yeah.
But now, what do you foresee? Because, the kind of criticism that they have faced with the move that they had with the joining the Deputy President, William Ruto, what do you foresee over their individual careers in the political scene of Kenya?
I think for Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula, probably they headed for political oblivion, because most of those leaders from Western region, they thought that Mudavadi probably was going to head One Kenya Alliance to election. So at least they had their son there was going to vie against those other two individual front runners, Raila Odinga and William Ruto. But right now they are disappointed. So it means that their popularity has gone down in one way or another, because you have seen several MPs and even MCS from ANC and Ford Kenya have decamped to the newly formed DAP Kenya. Yeah.
Right. Now, away from the Kenya Kwanza coalition, let's talk about the One Kenya Alliance. There have been growing pressure for the One Kenya Alliance to, work together with the Azimio la Umoja, but we've seen the principals being adamant to this. And what do you see? Are they really going to bend to this pressure, or will they walk to the end to battle it out with the other opponents in the ballot?
I feel like they have already bowed down to the pressure, because even yesterday you heard what Kalonzo said, that in fact there were speculations that they were trying to twist Azimio la Umoja movement into some of their demands, some of the pre-election and post-election demands. But yesterday Kalonzo Musyoka said that they cannot twist Azimio la Umoja. They'll see the ideas that Azimio la Umoja shall be bringing to the table, and they'll also bring their ideas, and they'll see if they can work as a team. So I can say that probably they are about the pressure.
No, that's your speculation. But then you see now the last meeting that they had, they were very clear that they're not going to join any coalition, but they were saying that they are only open to members with, parties that have the same ideology to join them, and not the other way around. Kalonzo Musyoka was so clear on this.
But he was also clear yesterday that he is open to work with Azimio la Umoja. Is not going to twist them. That shows you that they've already bowed the pressure. They are just putting on a brave face. Then probably on 26th of this month, we'll be served with a shocking surprise.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, there's also been talks going around that Azimio la Umoja is a state project. We've seen it in the rallies. Moses Wetangula, we've seen Musalia Mudavadi stating clearly that Azimio la Umoja is a state project. Now, what do you make of it? Because the president also came out clear with these claims that have always been made. Now, is it a solid claim, considering that those who are opposing Azimio la Umoja are still in government? The deputy president, their faction is still in government, and Azimio la Umoja, is the opposition leader. What do you make of this?
I find it quite erroneous that they can call Azimio la Umoja a state project, because I feel like it's just some bitterness on the part of Deputy President William Ruto. He wanted Uhuru Kenyatta to front him. Let me tell you, if right now Uhuru Kenyatta can make a U-turn and support William Ruto, I don't think if they will start saying that William Ruto is a state project. Of course, they'll say that Uhuru anaregesha mkono. That's what they will say. They won't say that William Ruto is a state project. So it's erroneous in making in its totality. And you should remember that William Ruto has been on a mad swearing campaign, mad smearing campaign, against his boss from 2018, since the March 9th handshake.
Yeah, sure. Now, we have seen cracks emerging in the coalitions. Like, for example, we can talk of the Nairobi gubernatorial race. For Kenya Kwanza, we saw the clash that was there between Bishop Wanjiru and Nairobi Senator Johnson Sakaja. And on the other side of the Azimio la Umoja, we are seeing the incumbent Anne Kananu rallying for the gubernatorial seat. We have Westlands MP Tim Wanyonyi. We have Richard Ngati and Anne Kagure. Don't you feel this race, Musa, the Nairobi gubernatorial race, will probably, the tensions will probably bring divisions in these coalitions?
There are tensions already that are being witnessed, but I feel like it will take the wisdom of each political party or each coalition to have a consensus. Maybe in this case, they will have to have a consensus because these people are coming from different political parties. Again, if this coalition are registered as coalition parties, then they may have party primaries.
Yeah, because talking about the coalitions being registered, we have seen Kenya Kwanza. It was officially registered. The register of political parties came out clear that Kenya Kwanza is already registered as a coalition, and the Kenya Kwanza is reserved. The name is reserved as an outfit. Yeah, so, because we are heading out to the party primaries.
So that's why I'm saying probably they may go to universal suffrage, and the delegates of Kenya Kwanza can decide. And also, if Azimio la Umoja movement is registered as a political outfit, then they can go to party primaries. Alternatively, they may have consensus. They may have talks and agree on one candidate. So it depends on them. But that said, it's going to be a daunting task on both coalitions.
But now, talking of having a consensus or having the party primaries for the delegates and all the members to dictate that whoever is going to be the flag bearer. Taking an example of UDA, we saw what happened when Girishi was there. She defected, going to stand to vie as an independent candidate. When we saw Anne Waiguru joining the political outfit. Now, for the people who have already expressed interest in the gubernatorial race, do you think it will be easy for the contestant to say that now this is what the party has agreed on, we shall rally behind whatever the party has said? Don't you see maybe a lot of independent candidates going to come up on these August polls?
Maybe yes, maybe no. Because as I've said, there are different ways of nominating candidates. There's the consensus one, then there's the direct nomination where they are giving the most popular candidate. Then there's also that of universal suffrage where the delegates shall decide. So if they see that consensus may not work in this case, then they subject it to the delegates conference and the delegates convention, and they decide. But that said, we may have independent candidates who may feel that maybe the delegates convention is not fair to them.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, in fact, that brings us to the next question that I wanted to ask. UDA just announced the nomination fees for those who want to rally with the party. With the UDA, it announced the nomination fees right from the presidency to the members of the county assemblies. But now the contestants in various sports. Now the greatest fear actually is that the party may pick their favorite a sacred cow to be given these direct tickets. And again, with this fear, now, do you think these nominations, is it really a playing ground for these aspirants, considering what we've always seen in the past when nominations are done, the party primaries are done, people saying that, I was rigged out of this, and then they're going to rally as independent candidates. Do you think really the ground is playing for all the contestants?
I will say one long-standing adage in politics that in politics, loyalty is paid in installment, but betrayal is punished instantaneously.
Right.
So in that case, we can't say that party primaries are that democratic as per se, because there are people who have been so loyal to the party. Then there are people who haven't been loyal to the party. They have been sleeping with the opponents.
Right.
So in that case, the party may decide and give a direct ticket to someone who is loyal, and that's at the discretion of the party, depending on what its constitution stipulates. They can give a direct ticket. But that said, it will also be quite unfortunate that it do happen that someone may come with a lot of money and twist the party officials, and they give him or her the ticket. You can see the issue of Wangui Ngirishi and Anne Waiguru.
Yeah.
Anne Waiguru just came the other day, and right now they were trying to have some consensus talk that Ngirishi should step down. Yet we know that Ngirishi has been on the forefront of popularizing UDA in the past.
Yeah, she was so loyal to UDA.
She was so loyal to UDA. So it's quite unfortunate that there are some instances like that people who are loyal are betrayed in the long run. But that said, that's politics at the end of the day.
Right. Now, the politics in the western part of Kenya, we have seen ODM pushing for joint nomination for candidates under the Azimio la Umoja camp. Pundits have termed this move as that it could present headache in the Azimio la Umoja movement. What do you take? What's your take on this?
Like they want joint nomination.
Joint nominations.
I think they are trying to play safe, in my opinion. They are trying to play safe. So let's say in regions that ODM is not that popular, they still want that popular candidate of Azimio la Umoja movement to get that ticket. So they don't want a scenario where ODM and DAP are all fielding candidate, and they are probably going to divide the votes, and probably someone from Kenya Kwanza Alliance may emerge as a winner. So they want to toe down on such issues.
But the Kenya, rather the Azimio la Umoja is made up of, now we have DAP, we have ODM, we have Jubilee. When we have now these internal wrangles within our coalition, don't you think maybe a third force? And a third force, meaning we're talking about a party that is outside a coalition, would probably have an advantage over them, and sail through to.
That's expected to happen if there are wrangles. But if the members of Azimio la Umoja movement as a political outfit agree to the joint nomination, I don't think if there'll be wrangles. But if they don't agree, that's where it can provide a challenge. It can bring a challenge.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, on a Gazette notice that IEBC issued, that those intending to vie in various posts as independent candidates should not be members of any political parties by May 2nd. Now, we have seen in the past candidates who failed in these nominations. They, saying that I was rigged out of the nominations, and then they rally as independent candidates.
Yes.
Now, this is with the new regulations that were stated by IEBC. Once you fail in the party nominations, there is no room for you to rally as an independent candidate.
Yes, sure.
Now, what do you foresee in the political scene concerning these nominations, and the fact that we have a regulation that once you fail, even if you are rigged out of the party nominations, there's no any other way for you as an independent candidate?
I foresee several people going as independent candidates, especially those people who feel like the party may twist them to drop their bid or may rig them out. Several of them will go as independent candidates. But that said, those who fail may support some independent candidate just as a revenge to their political outfit.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, interesting. Now, because of time, we have seen ahead of the August polls, many youths rallying for different positions. Unlike the past, most youths were being used to support these candidates, but this time around they are coming out in large numbers. Yes, they need the representation. Now, there's one thing that has always stood out when youths are rallying for electoral positions. They say that one, they don't have a leverage of experience. That's what the incumbents mostly say, that these youths don't have experience. And it's also coming out clearly that the youths don't have that kind of financial muscle to rally for these positions. But this time around, we have seen them coming out in large numbers. Do you think parties will really support these youths who don't have the much financial muscle that is required, or the parties may rig them out because they don't have that, the leverage of money and experience?
I think if a youth doesn't have the leverage of money but has the leverage of masses, it might be dangerous for a political party to try and rig out such a youth. So the youth should endeavor to have a leverage of masses in this case. So if they have a leverage of masses, it's in very minimal cases can they be rigged out.
Now, with that, well said. Do you see many youths winning these electoral posts that most of them are really vying for?
Unfortunately, no.
Why?
Because, like I said in the past, when I was here, our politics are so based on money and handouts. You see, we are not basing our politics on ideologies. The youths may have good ideologies, but like you've said, they don't have the financial muscles. So they may have good ideas for us, but because we are so hell-bent on handouts, we may not vote them in. We vote those who have financial muscles, but that's quite unfortunate.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the next discussion should be on the politics of handouts. Probably in about 1 minute, what would be your final word to the youths and the general populace ahead of the polls?
My final words to the youths will be let's support our own who are vying for these different positions. Let's listen to their ideologies, and to Kenyans, let's listen to ideologies that are making sense, that are providing practical solutions to our problem. Let us not buy abstract statements that provide no solution to Kenyans. Thank you.
Right. So thank you so much, Karani, for dedicating your time for this discussion. Hope we have you again, so that we dissect the Kenyan political cake. And with that, Siasa Fiesta, we are taking another very short break here on KUTV Primetime News. We still have much for you, so keep it right here. We shall be coming back to you in just but a moment.
KUTV, in conjunction with Kenyatta University Funeral Home, is now offering death announcements immediately following our news bulletins at 7 p.m. At this sorrowful time, as you share in your grief, allow us to communicate your announcement of your loved one on KUTV in both Kiswahili and English. For more details, kindly inquire at the KU Funeral Home Service Desk or call 0736 928 380 or dial 020-359-9054.
Kenya kuna aina tofauti za hali ya anga ambazo huboresha au kuwa changamoto kwa wakazi wa eneo. Kaunti ya Makueni imeibuka kuwa bora katika masuala ya kilimo licha ya hali ya kiangazi.
Maembe huwa tunazalisha nyingi, lakini mtambo kuna ile capacity ambapo hawezi pitisha na hatuwezi chukua maembe yote. In fact, tunakuta tunachukua 5-6%.
Kaunti hii imejikakamua kwa udi na uvumba kutegua kitendawili. Ukambani kuna ukame.
Tambo maji ilikuwa ngumu kupata kiasi, kwa sababu kama ni pale kwa mto inapita tu inaenda. Lakini sasa hii kama imesimamishwa itakuwa rahisi kwetu.
Basi kikosi cha Boresha Kilimo kilitangamana na wakulima mbalimbali kuandaa Makueni County Edition.
Na wahimiza wana Makueni na Wakenya wote kwa jumla kuitazama kipindi cha Boresha Kilimo kila Jumamosi kuanzia saa 6:30.
Welcome to the empire, Far East. We call it find true love. You will see what your love is done for. yenye furaha ajabu. Machungu yote yatakwisha, mambo yote yatakuwa ni mapya. Tukutane paradiso, tukutane enzini mbinguni, baada ya dhiki za hapa ulimwenguni tukutane.
Safina inang'oa nanga sasa hivi. Hivi sasa ni saa 2 Ijumaa usiku badala ya saa 3 kamili juu ya alama, due to public demand. Ungana nami Albanas Mwania, nahodha wa Safina Show, nikutoe ng'ambo ya pili hadi ufuoni. Safina Show, sauti ya matumaini.
Natamani kufika pale, mji mzuri ajabu wapendeza, hakuna mfano wa mazuri yajayo, jitahidi ufike mbinguni juu. Siku yaja tutasahau yale yote yanayotuhuzunisha, tumeahidiwa na Mungu.
Karibu kwenye mitindo ya kipwani.
Nguo yangu wasenesi magire mtuzeha sana nenda finira chechemekwe. Nguo yangu wasenesi magire mtuzeha.
Yaani unavyoona basi niko kipwani pwani tu.
Wali unapopika inatakana uko half cooked.
Bageri. Niko katika kaunti ya Kilifi, Magavazi ya Gede.
Stream live mitindo ya kipwani on our KUTV Facebook page every Saturday 4 p.m.
You are watching KUTV Primetime News with Omondi Otieno.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us on KUTV Primetime News. Let's carry on with the bulletin. Now, Deputy President William Ruto, who captained the Kenya Kwanza campaigns in Western Kenya, accompanied the coalition partners Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Masika Wetangula. The politicians took shots at the Azimio leader Raila Odinga, declaring that he was a state project.
The bottom-up economic agenda was the highlight in Busia County, where the Kenya Kwanza outfit stationed a number of campaign runs led by the chief hustler, Dr. William Ruto.
We have said enough is enough. We must have a different Kenya, where every citizen counts, every hustle counts, and every effort and every sweat must result in something.
Support from the western region of the country, with its vote-rich quality, has been one that politicians seeking the top seat have been craving for. This was evident as the DP made a return trip with two allies from the region, who have been the talk of the town, with criticism coming about over the decision to support him.
Kuna watu wanasema ati Musalia na Weta wamefanya makosa. Ati walifanya makosa kujiunga na Hasla. Nyinyi mnasema iko sawa.
However, the two leaders, ANC's Musalia Mudavadi and Ford Kenya's Moses Masika Wetangula, tabled their reasons for swaying away from the Azimio la Umoja divide led by ODM leader Raila Odinga, saying that they had had enough of backing him.
Mimi nilibeba ndugu yangu Tinga kwa muda mrefu. Mwaka wa 2007 nilikuwa nyuma yake. Mwaka wa 2017 hata nikakuwa chief campaigner wake. Tumechoka. Mwambie Raila aondoe jam, watu wengine waende mbele.
Sisi tumezunguka na huyu mzee jirani yetu, tukisema nasa hawa. Baadaye tunaona mzee Raila na Uhuru wameshikana, Musalia hajui, Weta hajui, Kalonzo hajui, na sisi ndio tulikuwa tunakula tia gasi yake. Kati Musalia na Weta walikuwa wakitembea na Raila, tulikuwa watu wazuri, tulikuwa weupe kama pamba. Wakati tumeungana na Ruto, wanasema Musalia ni mbaya, Weta ni mbaya.
The region is proving to be one that political statisticians from contesting parties may have to reanalyze to ensure they clinch a lion's share of the coveted votes. Emmanuel Kutosi, KUTV.
Let's now take a look at this business segment. Now, recycled water flowing from washrooms, bathrooms and kitchens has turned a resort in one of the driest part of Nakuru into a small paradise, as the management can now afford to water its lawns, flower gardens and a small orchard twice every week. They are not incurring extra cost on electricity as they are utilizing the solar energy to pump the water.
Though it is a dusty and dry season in Nakuru, one feature that is impossible to miss is the lush lawn. According to Ndegwa Mahinda, a sanitization and wastewater treatment engineer, the 5 cottages that are fully complete feature architectural designs, allow enough natural light and provide for wastewater recycling and solar roofing tiles to cut cost of energy and curb pollution.
We should be moving away from the concept of using water once. We need to start recycling. Water scarcity is going to be an issue of the future. It is a future now, and it's not going to get smaller unless it gets addressed.
According to Mahinda, the county government should remain alive to the fact that as Kenya's population grows and living standards improve, increasing volume of wastewater is being discharged and treated into the environment, causing major health and pollution threats, and further reducing the amount of water available for drinking and agriculture.
You tell how many times you flush the toilet after you've drunk coffee or tea. Every time you flush that toilet, you use, if it's an older building, use up to 10 liters of water. Let's say you flush the toilet 9 times a day. That's 90 liters of water you have flushed.
The system treats the water in batches and it's wholly biological, translating to the lower power consumption and high treatment efficiency. The magnitude of the wastage of drinkable water holds 9 liters and is flushed at least 12 times in an average home per hour.
One way to resolve this thing is we have what we call permeable paving. A lot of homes have carb. In permeable paving, basically, you don't put the whole place carb, you put gaps in your carb. Every other carb has. And when it rains, some of the water percolates. What is the overall impact of this? You're able to recharge your groundwater. And with groundwater recharge, a lot of wells are being drilled.
In the era of climate change and water scarcity, Mahinda advises this as the system industry, homes and institutions should embrace to sustain their operations and keep the environments clean. Alex Jomo, KUTV.
Thank you so much, Alex Jomo, for that report. Now, the Street Children's Assistance Network for Nakuru Foundation is appealing for well-wishers to support them feed 450 needy families in 4 slums in Nakuru every day. The foundation's chairman, Shamshi Gilani, says the low-income families in the slums are struggling to find food amid the prevailing harsh economic aftershocks of the COVID-19 pandemic.
For the last 2 years, the Street Children's Assistance Network for Nakuru Foundation has been providing hot meals and bedding to over 500 households in Nakuru in a bid to cushion children and the elderly from pangs of hunger. The efforts are, however, hitting a snag with the cost to undertake this becoming a little too high.
Kuna watu hapa Rwanda hawapati chakula. Kuna watu hapa Rwanda hawapati chai asubuhi kunywa. Mimi ni gombo jao.
The chairman to the SCAN Foundation, Shamshi Gilani, says the low-income families in Rwanda, Bondeni, Kivumbini and Kaptembo slums are struggling to find food amid the prevailing harsh economic times that have been prevalent in the wake of the COVID-19.
In early 2020, when the pandemic hit our country, we recognized that there were thousands of people who lost their employment. We found there were thousands of people who lost their livelihoods in view of the lockdown that we had to go through. In recognizing this, we made some inquiries and we found that there were tens of thousands of children who were going hungry because their parents could not afford to give them food.
The charity has been educating poor but bright children from these areas with a view of improving their prospects for better lives in years to come. Beneficiaries say this is their oasis of hope and call for its expansion in order to reach out to hundreds of people like them who contend with hardship every day.
Hii mradi tangu ianzishwe hapa Nakuru, hapa Ronda, hii mradi imesaidia watu wengi. Hii mradi hata tunaomba iongeze. Hii mradi iongezwe, hata watu kupata kama nyama ndani kidogo.
Nauza sabuni kwa Plemba Primary. Hata nimeshukuru sababu ya nini? Ya blanketi. Ndaenda kujifunika. Mungu ape nyinyi baraka.
The foundation has appealed to well wishers to help them feed the overwhelming number of those in need in the Nakuru slum. Anodida, KUTV, Nairobi.
And now we dive into the world of business, where Kenya's pact with the US has been tagged as an opportunity that needs to be exploited to bring them very much welcome foreign coin. This and much more in our business roundup.
Trade Permanent Secretary Ambassador Johnson Weru has challenged medium and small-scale entrepreneurs to take advantage of the recently signed deal between Kenya and the United Kingdom to export their merchandise. The pact allows Kenyan traders to sell their products duty-free to the UK as long as they meet the required standards.
This agreement allows Kenya and the United Kingdom to trade duty-free and quota-free. What that means is, kama uko na kitu yako ambayo unaweza uza huko, ichukue saa hii upeleke.
To the whole of Africa, where the suspension of bidding for second telecoms operator permit in Ethiopia will not derail the introduction of M-Pesa license in the populous nation, clearing the way for Safaricom to launch the mobile money service this year. The telecom license, which was offered to Safaricom last year, was to be upgraded to include mobile financial service after completing bidding for its second telecoms operator permit. This was, however, thrown into disarray after Ethiopia suspended bids for a second telecommunication license, with the Horn of Africa stating its financial legal changes to allow the central bank to issue Safaricom with a license for mobile financial services. And to another optimistic report, where banks expect an increase in private sector credit growth in 2022, driven by the reopening of the economy and capital demand by the micro, small, and medium enterprises. A Central Bank of Kenya survey on the country's economic prospects in the next 12 months shows that approximately 72% of respondents expect the private sector credit growth to be supported by the demand for the credit arising from the economic recovery of sectors previously affected by COVID-19. For KUTV Business News Desk, I'm Jane Cherutich.
Now, on average, the US dollar was buying at 113 shillings and 51 cents and selling at 113 shillings and 71 cents, with the sterling pound buying at 153 shillings and 63 cents, while selling at 152 shillings and 94 cents. The euro was buying at 129 shillings and 18 cents and selling at 129 shillings and 43 cents. The South African rand averaged 7 shillings and 33 cents on buying and sold at 7 shillings and 36 cents. The Ugandan shilling was going at 30 shillings and 74 cents on buying and selling at 30 shillings and 88 cents. The Tanzanian shilling buying at 20 shillings and 30 cents and selling at 20 shillings and 42 cents. All these being indicative rates. And in the money market, Car and General was the top gainer, closing business at 61 shillings and 50 cents, which was a gain of 7.89%. Serena East Africa was the top loser, closing trade at 14.0 cents, which was a drop by 8.79%. The top mover was Safaricom, moving 2.91 million shares. Let's now take a look at what's happening in the world of sport. Now, Dakar explode with the joy at the final whistle as Sadio Mane's Senegal beat Mohamed